Hello everybody! Welcome to the acting troupe of Lambert Senior Class Showcase Tribute. ATL has an important tradition to allow our senior graduating class to perform and take their final bows. Even though our program was cut short this year, we can't allow the class of 2020 to be an exception to this tradition. This presentation celebrates our seniors' accomplishments over the past 4 years. In an interest of time, I won't be sharing every single achievement for each graduate. This is a virtual showcase of their highlights. This year's wonderful group of seniors once again have raised the bar for theater excellence. In the time they have been at Lambert High School, they have accomplished 29 phenomenal productions, from James and the Giant Peach to Holiday Inn. They are back-to-back state champions. They have 2 superior ratings for the National Performing Arts Festival in Disney World. They have performed at ThesCon twice, at the Georgia Theater Conference, and on live TV at the Schuler Awards ceremony. In just the 3 years they were involved with Schuler judging, ATL received 12 nominations and 4 Schuler Awards. These accolades, along with many individual honors as well, make this class the most celebrated graduates in ATL history. This is a special congratulations to the acting troupe of Lambert's graduating class of 2020. We would like to recognize senior Claire Applegate. Claire has been an absolute wonderful person in the ATL family. She was always the most positive one in the room and is always so kind and generous to those around her. She was always very well supported by her peers. I had the pleasure of working with Claire in many shows throughout her years at Lambert. Claire always came in completely prepared for her auditions, and I could tell that she always put 100% into all of her roles. One of the best memories I had of her was when I really noticed her blossom during the process of Chicago going into Footloose. She owned the stage, and I really saw great dedication and passion. Claire is a wonderful actress and portrayed the role of Eleanor in that show. Then she was amazing the following year in our senior-directed one-act, The Marvelous Wonderettes. Claire portrayed the role of Susie, the gum-chewing, happy-go-lucky girl. This pop-belting musical theater jukebox was perfect for her and really made her shine. For the past 2 years, Claire was also a part of the advanced drama class. This year, we put on the production of Our Place, and Claire was cast as the role of Liberty. She played the smart young girl who was deciding where her life would lead her in college. I was mostly impressed by her honesty she had in her acting. It was very natural and believable. Claire is so talented and also such a wonderful person in general. She was the best encourager during the most stressful times, including Tech Week. Claire was our ATL FCA student representative this year, and we can't thank her enough for building up our spirits and confidence. We love you, Claire, and thank you for being a part of our wonderful family.
Hey, you're a little quiet.
Sorry, I was just thinking about something I read.
All right.
Did you know that your personality doesn't fully mature until you're in your mid to late 20s?
Huh.
Yeah, it's weird. Your likes, dislikes, everything's really in flux until we're almost 30. The person who I will eventually become may bear only the smallest resemblance to who I am right now.
Yeah, right.
Your taste buds, too.
Taste buds?
Your taste buds are constantly changing, like this tuna fish right here. In 10 years, I might hate tuna fish, even though I really like it right now. Kiss me, kiss me, kiss me, kiss me. When you do, I know that you will miss me, miss me, miss me. If we ever say adieu, so kiss me. Make me tell you I'm in love with you. Kiss me, kiss me. Miss me if we ever say adieu, so kiss me. Make me tell you I'm in love with you. Never, no, no, never let me go. Never, never, never let me go. Never, never, never let me go.
attending the University of Georgia, pursuing a degree in advertising. Congratulations, Claire! Up next, we would like to recognize senior Caroline Canizaro. I started working with Caroline before she even started at Lambert High School. And I immediately fell in love with Caroline because she reminded me of myself when I was her age. She was always so meticulous and very, very professional. Her freshman year, she was cast in our competition show as a wonderful dancer in James and the Giant Peach. Since then, she grew so much as a person, actress, dancer, and leader. Also as a freshman, she was given the opportunity to assistant choreograph our production of Grease. We worked so well together, bouncing ideas off of each other to create together. She then played the quirky role of Judy Turner in a chorus line and stood out in the spotlight. She was then cast in Little Shop of Horrors as one of the soloist urchins and created her own unique personality for the character. Then she played the role of Hunyak in Chicago, in which she had to speak Hungarian throughout the whole show. She showed how prepared she was for auditions and came into her audition already memorized with that monologue. And during the rehearsal process, she had to learn silks for the show, and it was absolutely incredible. She then portrayed the beautiful Hava in Fiddler on the Roof, one of Tevye's daughters, and her performance was just heartbreaking and melted your heart. Caroline was the perfect Missy in The Marvelous Wonderettes and played the overachiever, very concerned character with expertise. She then was the assistant choreographer and co-choreographer for many shows with ATL, one of them including Newsies, which was awarded Best Choreography for the 2018-2019 Schuler Awards. I can't explain how wonderful it was to choreograph with Caroline along with Jenna and Maddie. Caroline was specifically creative in adding tap expertise into a lot of our productions. On top of choreographing Newsies, she was also seen on stage giving everything at 100% for the role of JoJo. Later that year, Caroline played the role of the Wicked Witch, which was a different character for her. She was so wonderful, and I could not be more proud of her. Then came senior year. Caroline co-choreographed She Loves Me with Jenna and put the tango feel into romantic atmosphere. She always thought about how to further the storyline in her choreography. She co-directed the beautiful Disney showcase her senior year and even helped out with many of the tech elements for the production. Most notably, Caroline portrayed the role of Lila Dixon in Holiday Inn. She showed she was a true leader, holding her own in this perfect part for her. She had to pull out all the stops in her dancing, comedy, and vocals. She also choreographed the phenomenal solo tap number for the character of Ted Hanover in Holiday Inn. Not only did Caroline accomplish all of this and more in ATL, but she also served as the president of the troupe this year. She was always a mentor to many, and her organizational skills were amazing. It has been an absolute honor to have Caroline a part of the troupe for 4 years. Caroline, you will always be a part of ATL, and thank you for leaving your mark on this program.
She started the heat wave by letting her seat sway. And in such a way that the customers say that she certainly can.
Caroline will be attending Georgia Tech, pursuing a degree in economics. Congratulations, Caroline! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Sharon Cho. Sharon has also been such a wonderful asset to our ATL program. I remember back in Seussical, she was cast as a Wickersham brother and really brought that fun, energetic character to life. She has such a wonderful, clear, light tone to her singing voice. The next year, she was cast in The Little Mermaid. She had the solo at the top of the show as the captain. Sharon singing at the top was the perfect opening to that show. She showed great dedication to the work she was doing. I was also super impressed with her solo song she did in class, and I really loved showcasing her in the end of year showcase that year. Sharon was then cast as the 3 blind mice in Shrek, and I could really see she had fun with that role. It gave her a chance to really be silly, be featured, and have fun in the process. I was absolutely impressed with Sharon during the senior-directed Disney showcase. She was cast as Mulan and sang a beautiful rendition of Reflection. I couldn't stop talking about how perfect Sharon was for this. It was extremely natural for her voice and was so light and clear. Sharon was also such a joy to have in my classes and was always on task. She was always on top of what she needed to work on for rehearsals and for assignments. Sharon was also part of our Schuler production of Holiday Inn and was a wonderful ensemble member. I am so proud of Sharon's accomplishments and want to thank her for being so wonderful in our program. This is one talented lady.
I'm 17, there are so many things that I can't control. If I start to freak or feel weak, I focus on just one goal. Turn down the music, attack this routine like it owns my soul. Turn up the music so loud.
Sharon will be attending Mercer University, pursuing a degree in global health. Congratulations, Sharon! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Kendall Conahan. When I first met Kendall, I knew she had such a love and passion for being on stage. She especially loved singing and dancing. She would always light up the stage with her smile. I remember her first show, Seussical. She was cast as one of the Bird Girls, and I especially needed fun, upbeat actors to portray these characters and to propel the storyline, and she did just that. I then remember how much fun she had in our senior-directed production of Footloose. The next year, I wanted to work with Kendall in more of a leadership position. Kendall was my dance captain for a production of The Little Mermaid and a mentor to those around her in the advanced musical theater class. She also played the role of Andrina and brought so much unique personality to the role. She also helped in many tech areas such as The Marvelous Wonderettes and Newsies. Without her help backstage on those productions, they would not have gone as smoothly as they did. Kendall was a beautiful sugar plum fairy in Shrek and brought the stage to life with her stage presence. In her senior year, Kendall took on more of an artistic leadership position. She choreographed the senior-directed show, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Her choreography was great for the style of the show and catered toward the actors that were cast in the show. I was extremely proud of her taking on this responsibility and on her own. Kendall was also in the advanced drama class and played the role of Anne in our recent production of Our Place. Kendall was a lovely addition to our ensemble in Holiday Inn, and once again her dancing skills shone through. I have been very proud of Kendall and have been very happy to have provided a second family for her. She is a wonderful young lady, and I'm sending her all my best in all her future endeavors.
You are hilarious. You brought him to our place and you're mad at me for bringing her?
To our place! You are unbelievable!
So, whose place is it? 'Cause
Apparently it's everyone's place now. So, I'm guessing you know about the love blanket.
Oh, don't.
The love blanket. This is my great-grandmother's blanket. You stole my great-grandmother's blanket.
Yeah, she didn't need it anymore.
You stole my dead great-grandmother's blanket.
Yeah, I just borrowed it from that thing.
Her wake?
Yeah, I thought it was a door prize. It was just sitting on the table by her dead body.
That was a tasteful display of precious things she has made in her life.
Oh, you know, I see where I might have gone wrong there.
I thought you came to Mimi's wake to support me, but clearly you were there to pillage. You are sick.
so I guess we're not gonna go see the ghost light? 'Cause
You told him about the ghost light? That was my story. You stole my story and my place.
Our place!
Oh my God!
You are a lying, cheating blanket
I
stealer!
thought it was a door
Oh,
prize.
why don't you just lick off the
Oh,
building?
you first.
Oh my gosh! In concert we hope to enlighten the hearts of the merfolk with music swell, Aquata and Drina, Arista, Antina, Adela, Alana, and then there is the youngest in her musical debut, our seventh little sister. We're presenting her to you to sing you songs of passion. Her voice is like a bell. It's our sister Ariel.
Kendall will be taking a gap year before she attends college. Congratulations, Kendall! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Maddie Cruz. It has been an absolute honor to work with Maddie over the past 4 years. I saw right away how hard of a worker she was her freshman year. After her first audition for me, she came back to see me later to get feedback on how she could keep improving for next time. She would also come to me after individual solos to work with me to improve. I then knew she went home and practiced all the feedback given constantly to improve. This showed me that her work ethic and drive were like none I have ever seen before. With how much she worked, that got her to be talented in singing, dancing, and acting equally. In Godspell, I noticed how strong of a presence she had on stage. And she was very, very articulate. She then kept working on her dance skills in Grease, our one-act competition show, A Chorus Line, and our Schuler competition show, Chicago. With each new show, I saw exponential improvement. It was then her junior year where she really blossomed into quite the triple threat. She was in the advanced drama class and really worked on her acting skills. I remember specifically being blown away by one of her original monologues, and I had to put it in the showcase. Then I saw her in the senior-directed show Ordinary Days. I was walking from my classroom onto the stage and into the audience while Maddie was singing. I stopped, turned around, and I knew Maddie's got it. Her voice grew into such a powerful, strong tone. Her head mix that she had been working on was really strengthening. She was a perfect Deb, and it only went up from there. I started working with her as a choreographer in our competition show Fiddler on the Roof. Her powerful dancing techniques really helped in places such as the To Life dance. She then was part of the dynamic trio choreographing our Schuler production of Newsies. She had been talking about Newsies since her freshman year, and it actually influenced me choosing the show to do. She also played the tracks during downtimes in class. Her passion for this show really shone through. With the choreography skills of Maddie, Jenna, and Caroline, it turned out to be everything I imagined and more, and won the Schuler Award for Best Choreography in 2019. She had the most incredible stamina I have ever seen. There was nothing that could stop her. I distinctly remember One time during class, I saw a one-woman show of Maddie doing all the dances in the Newsies, back to back. Her dancing combined with her strong presence and acting skills really made her a standout as Buttons in Spot Conlon. Senior year, I was the most proud of Maddie. She really peaked, and I got to work with Maddie as a leader in many capacities. She played the lead role of Alona in She Loves Me and was fearless. Her comedic timing and storytelling skills were impeccable. Along with her singing skills and dance ability, she was really able to use the skills she's been working on over the years to refine a wonderful character she portrayed. She also worked alongside me, assistant directing our advanced drama show of Our Place with Bella. They had so many strong and creative ideas to bring to the table. Finally, Holiday Inn. This would be the last show that I got to work on with all three choreographers, Maddie, Caroline, and Jenna. I gave them more ownership in the choreography this year. Not only did Maddie choreograph, but she also portrayed the leading comedic role of Louise. She stole the show in her performance of Shakin' the Blues Away, and words cannot express how proud I am of her over the years in so many ways. Maddie has been a true dedicated member of ATL with so much passion and love.
I resolve not to be so stupid.
Will you keep my late night open for me, darling?
I resolve not to play these games.
All right, sweetheart.
How often I've been a sitting duck for Cupid. How often I've let him shoot me down.
Oh, come on, sweetheart. Say it's all right.
I resolve not to be so trusting. It's high time that I awoke. Whatever I've got up here, it's up here rusting. My feminine intuition is a joke. I must be cousin to a cat. I always wind up with a rat. I'm through with momentary thrills. I find I can't afford the bills. I resolve, come what may, I will not be this girl one more day. Borrow what gave me birth, friendliest place on earth. Pay us a visit, see what we meet, and when you do, we are halfway to Queens. Now let's go visiting for a song. What a sad wasteland of a wheel. It's a joke, but if they think so joke, it's loud and clear. The hatchet's here, Washington's here, Richmond's here, with lights here, still and bright. Brooklyn's here, loud and clear, Queens is here. Do you like those birds you listen to? Melody, they shrink their bodies slow, to and fro, with every shake, a lucky break. Oh, to make the dance away, to chase the dance away. If you were there, you would be with the shake on away. Shake on away.
Maddie will be attending Kennesaw State University, pursuing a degree in sports management. Congratulations, Maddie! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Drew Davison. Drew Davison has been an absolute exceptional student to have in my classes, directing shows, and to work with as a leader and incredible mentor in the acting troupe of Lambert. Words can't even describe how proud I am of all of his accomplishments over the past 4 years at Lambert. I had the pleasure of working with Drew during his 8th grade year in Mary Poppins. Drew's first show at Lambert was Godspell, in which he played Jesus, or quotes, Drewzus, as the students would call him. I was loving the dynamic between him and Jared Gerasio, and that stuck through during his whole time in ATL. They were the perfect duo and played off of one another perfectly. Drew, as a freshman, also portrayed the role of Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors. He was so charismatic in this role and was voted as best actor by the students as a freshman. It only went up from there with Drew. Sophomore year, he was given the challenge of dancing on the line in a chorus line and was wonderful. He has great work ethic and even once or twice pitched in a move or two. Then he would say, choreographer Drew Davison. Then his biggest role ever, Sack Man in Check Please. No, that one was just funny. Going on to our production of Chicago, oh my goodness, his portrayal of Amos was just wonderful. The audience felt for him completely and loved every time he would come onto the stage. He then played the Reverend in Footloose, which was senior directed and was completely different character from what he had played before. You are already starting to see how versatile Drew was just his sophomore year. Then comes junior year, oh my gosh. Drew was cast as Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof and completely exceeded in the role. He paid attention to every detail of his character and performance, analyzing everything around him, how he talked, how he walked, how he reacted, his motivation for everything he did. He completely became Tevye, and the audience felt like they were completely drawn into his world. Drew won Best Actor for Region 1 Act, then won Best Actor for the State 1 Act competition. There is definitely not another high school student who could portray that character as well as he did. It was breathtaking. Then he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for the Schuler Awards for his role of Davy in Newsies. Shrek was after that, and the work he did to get that accent after so much work on Tevye and Davy that same year was impeccable. Finally, senior year, She Loves Me. Once again, Drew won Best Actor in the State for 1 Act competition for his role of George in She Loves Me. Finally, Holiday Inn, which he carried the show as Jim Hardy. Every single role Drew played was completely different from the last, and his work ethic, dedication, and passion for this craft is absolutely amazing. He is so smart and intuitive, and what a leader. I always loved our talks about shows and roles and theater and life in general. He was always a pleasure to work with, very respectful, and just a director's dream. Wright State does not know what they are in for having you a part of their program, Drew. Thank you so much for being a part of my program for the past 4 years.
If I were rich, I'd have the time that I lack to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe have a seat by the eastern wall. And I discuss their holy books with their learned men 7 hours every day. This would be the sweetest thing of all. Oh, if I were a rich man, a-diddle-diddle-diddle-digga-digga-diddle-diddle-dong. All day long I'd biddy-biddy-bong. If I were a wealthy man, wouldn't have to work hard. Diddle-diddle-diddle-digga-digga-diddle-diddle-dong. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil of some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man? Courage cannot erase our fears. Courage is when we face our fears. Tell those with power, safe in their tower, we will not obey. Behold the brave battalion that stands side by side, too few in number and too proud to hide, and say to the others who did not follow through, you're still our brothers, and we will fight for you. I'd like to scrawl on every wall I see. She loves me. She loves me.
Drew will be attending Wright State University, pursuing a BFA in acting with a concentration in musical theater. Congratulations, Drew! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Nick Deaton. Nick was someone who always loved diving deep into his character roles and really thought about character motivation. He likes to analyze and ask questions to further his character development. His first show at Lambert was Godspell, where he sang his solo We Beseech Thee. He was an audience pleaser for sure. I also really remember him holding his own for the role of Willard in Footloose. He was a believable comedic character, and it was quite a strong performance from him. On a completely opposite spectrum, Nick played the role of Pulitzer in Newsies. He played the pompous businessman who wouldn't deal with nonsense very well. He was also very good at listening and responding to the other actors on stage. Nick always had a wonderful tone to his voice for all of his roles as well. Senior year, Nick played the heartfelt role of Mr. Marichek in She Loves Me. The role was very well done, and he created a solid three-dimensional character. He was always very supportive of his castmates and worked extremely well when he was double cast in a role. His portrayal of Danny in Holiday Inn was spot on, and Nick was such a great radio announcer in the show too. He always had such a great speaking voice. On top of being such a wonderful performer, Nick had a great passion and ear for music. He was on the artistic team this year and music directed the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. With all the tight harmonies in this show, that was such a huge task to undertake. I couldn't be more proud of all the work Nick put in to make that show sound wonderful. I always thought Nick was a great kid. I'm honored I got to work with him as long as I did. He was such a wonderful asset to our program.
Give me a week and I'll train them to be like an army that's marching to war. Proud of themselves and so grateful to me, they'll be begging to pay even more. There's dirt on our shoes, boys, for God's sakes relax. Why throw them out when all we need is some wax? Listen well to these barbershop lessons, for they'll see you through. Don't drink a coffee while lying down in bed. Don't even give it a thought. It's the best, Mama says. Never read anything that's bigger than your head. Is she a whiz or what? Oh yes. And Mom says, she says, doesn't matter if you're a king Mom says, or you're a clown. Once you travel a mountain, you can't back down. Once you travel a mountain, you can't back down. Strong. Oh, I was something in days gone by. With some girl who just happened to catch my eye. Slim, straight, light on my feet, shoes just skimming the ground. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, follow the beat, around, around, around. All night circling the floor till dawn lit up the sky. No one younger than I in days gone by.
Nick will be attending High Point University, pursuing a degree in International Business and Commerce, while also auditioning for their theater program. Congratulations, Nick! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Stephanie DiPietro. I remember meeting Stephanie when she was in 8th grade, and I came to see her production of Legally Blonde. I was so excited she was coming to be a part of the program the following year. Stephanie was one of the kindest students I ever had. When I first worked with her in Godspell, I knew she was a natural for stage and especially for comedy. She was so subtle in her acting, and those little subtleties were what made some great moments in her characters. She also became quite the dancer, and I really saw this in our production of Seussical and the tap number that we did at the end of the year for the theater class showcase. Her moves were very specific, and she always paid attention to detail in choreography. Stephanie also always had some of the best facial expressions on stage. Stephanie was recognized in the All-Star cast at the Georgia Theater Conference for her role in the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged. She was wonderful in this show, and I was so proud of her. Then Stephanie portrayed the perfect Betty in Footloose. My absolute highlight of Stephanie for me was when she played Joy in Yellow Boat and Scuttle in The Little Mermaid. Both of these shows were back-to-back, and it was really neat to see those completely different characters from her. She was absolutely hilarious and stole many moments in the show in The Little Mermaid, and then was sweet and calm and collected for her character in Yellow Boat. And without a doubt, Stephanie was the perfect Pinocchio. Her gift for comedic timing is so memorable. Holiday Inn was her last show senior year, and once again brought her amazing dance skills to the table. Stephanie also was another wonderful front of house manager and made the lobby look beautiful for many of our shows. She served on the ATL board this year and made a wonderful officer. I am so proud of all of Stephanie's accomplishments on stage, and she truly has a gift.
Oh, wow, this is special. This is very dispensary. What is it? A dingle hopper. A dingle hopper. These guys are special. Now, when it comes to dingle hoppers, I am a regular encyclopedia. So that your mind have a head like a fossil and a bed rattle feathers. I don't have to bleeding. If you guys one of these handy little thing magics. Dingle hop, dingle clubs. It's a dingle hop lot. Just like so. Twirling now. Give it a little hike. There you go. Do what they call dogs. Meow. Oh, wonderful stuff. That's human stuff. A human stuff. And the only authority will be us love. Because the great explanation human stuff. What? It's disappointing. Whoa, is what I know. Out in my nose. That's just how it goes. Poor Pinocchio. Story of my life. Always doomed to fail. Cheated by a fox. Swallowed by a whale. That's the story of my life. Oh yeah. That's the story of my life.
Stephanie will be attending the University of Georgia, pursuing a degree in elementary education. Congratulations, Stephanie! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Alora Emery. It has definitely been such a pleasure having Alora part of ATL for the past 4 years. Alora started out in the production of Godspell. I distinctly remember her audition and callbacks for the show and being really excited for this student with such a beautiful, effortless voice. She was cast as the Oh Bless the Lord soloist, which is one of the biggest and more challenging roles in the show. She brought the house down with this song and was fearless, being spun around on a dumpster while singing the ending last note. Alora was then cast as a beautiful Maisie in Seussical. Her voice, dancing, and sassy acting for the role was spot on for the demands of the character. The next year, Alora was cast as Hava in Fiddler on the Roof, one of Tevia's daughters. She played the ingenue very well, very different from her previous role of Maisie. Alora always showed her passion for musical theater. I always knew that she did her research beforehand for each role. She always had great instincts during rehearsals and wasn't afraid to make choices. Alora also worked hard on her dance skills as a Bowery beauty in Newsies. Finishing off her senior year, Alora was cast as Anna in Frozen. She was outstanding with so many lovable, quirky, and bold characteristics, and the elementary school kids just fell in love with her. What I loved most about Alora was how excited she would be just to prepare for a role. A quote I have from Craig Lovell, who directed her in The Wedding Singer, is Alora always showed up for rehearsal completely prepared and ready to go. This is consistent to what I saw in my rehearsals as well at Lambert. I have no doubt that Alora will keep singing, and I encourage her to do so. She has a wonderful voice, beautiful control, and I could really see her move someone with that beautiful voice. Congratulations, Alora. Thank you so much for being a part of our program for the past 4 years.
For years I've roamed these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Finally they're opening up the gates. Then the actual real life people
will be attending the University of North Georgia, pursuing a degree in occupational therapy. Congratulations, Alora! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Jared Gerasio. Jared has definitely left his mark on this program throughout the years. I have been working with Jared since before I started at Lambert. His first show I got to do with him was Mary Poppins in 8th grade. I also had the pleasure of teaching Jared private tap lessons before he started high school. He always had such a spark and drive to him, and I knew he was going to become a true triple threat. Once again, I immediately loved the duo between him and his best friend Drew Davison. Jared was John the Baptist and Judas in Godspell, and I knew he was going to be such a dynamic performer. His performance of All for the Best propelled his next roles. Peach Pusher. James and the Giant Peach. Jared wasn't actually in this class that did James, but I needed him on crew his freshman year, and he was just lovely water. Moving on, Jared was cast as Kaniki in Grease his freshman year and brought the house down with the showstopper Grease Lightning. His pizzazz, confidence, ownership, and energy was just so high, I couldn't wait to work with him more to see what he could do next. Jared was cast as Mike Costa in a chorus line for a one-act competition show, and once again pulled out all the stops with his tap dancing. He proved he had the stamina to make it look easy, when indeed it definitely was the opposite. Then Jared portrayed Fred Casely in Chicago and had to be a caricature in the courtroom scene, and Soft Shoe in the 1920s. At the end of his sophomore year, Jared carried the show of Footloose as Red McCormick, creating the witty joker who loves to have a good time while singing, dancing, and making a difference in the town. Junior year, he was cast as a completely different style of character than what he was used to. Fiddler on the Roof. He played the role of Perchik as a strong young student who holds his own beliefs against Tevye. We then get into his claim to fame in the production of Newsies. Jared completely became the role of Jack Kelly and made such bold discoveries with his character. He was likable and charming, and Jared found this three-dimensional character with expertise. With this role, Jared barely even left the stage. He showed how true a triple threat he was at this moment. His performance was so honest and believable and was just a standout. Jared was nominated for Best Leading Actor for this role for the 2019 Schuler Awards. It was absolutely phenomenal, and his best performance was a Santa Fe at the end of Act 1, which left the audience in such a state of awe. Jared was then the absolutely hilarious Lord Farquaad in Shrek. Senior year, Jared was the perfect egotistical Kodai in She Loves Me and was so keen to such subtleties in his performance. The duo between him and Maddie Cruz was just perfect. Finally, to end a senior year, Jared was given the ultimate challenge of playing Ted Hanover in Holiday Inn. It takes one talented person to be able to play this role with such ease and charisma. He had to portray this old Hollywood-style character who is clever, funny,
Who says we're not a smash?
charming, and had to impress the ladies with his dance skills. Without Jared, this show would not have been able to be done in the high school level. It was such an honor directing and teaching Jared over the past years. I loved watching him film his pre-screens for college and seeing his passion shine through doing everything he can to make it just right. This is the kind of hard work and dedication that Jared always puts into his performances.
Stepping out with my baby and go wrong becoming right. Ask me when will the day be? The big day may be tonight. Here she comes down the street. My oh my, ain't she sweet? Why, here goes my hot toddy over my dead body. I'll capture your heart singing. Just wait until she gets a load of my dancing. Just wait till I start singing. I'll take her strolling up the road with my dancing. I can't go wrong with a tender song, and she'll discover my charm. Some fancy taps and she'll collapse and fall right into my arms. For it's grand knowing you'll all be working getting any younger, and I want to start brand new. I need space and fresh air. Let them laugh in my face, I don't care. Save my place. I'll be there. Just be real is all I'm asking. Not some pain in my head. 'Cause I'm dead if I can't count on you today. I got nothing if I ain't got
Jared will be attending Baldwin Wallace University pursuing a BM in musical theater. Congratulations, Jared! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Morgan Cleckley. Morgan has been a part of ATL all 4 years and was involved in many different capacities. When I first met Morgan at Freshman Festival, I immediately saw how eager she was to get up on stage. I know she loves theater, and most importantly, I know that she cares for others. Her first production was Godspell, and I know she found her second family through that show. I remember her shining in Grease, in Footloose, in Shrek, Frozen, and The Little Mermaid. With each of these shows, she brought something different to her roles. The many characters she got to play in these shows gave her so much experience with creating and allowing her to have multiple costumes for each. This propelled her love for costuming. Morgan helped backstage for many shows. She always loved helping others. She would be in charge of organizing costumes, refining costumes, and making sure everyone looked nice before they went on stage. There was a lot of work that went into creating these costumes, so I knew without her help, some of these wouldn't have come together as easy as they did. Some shows that she did costumes for are Holiday Inn, She Loves Me, Fiddler on the Roof, Newsies, and Chicago. Morgan was always such a light in ATL, and I loved seeing her happy constantly. We wish her all the best in the next upcoming years.
Listen to me, don't I sound rich? Loud am I not? Plus I've got perfect pitch. Wouldn't you think I could?
When it comes, they don't know how to go.
Morgan will be attending Mississippi State University pursuing a degree in kinesiology. Congratulations, Morgan! Up next, we would like to recognize senior Jin Lee. It touches my heart to see how much Jin has grown over the years. She is the sweetest girl who always was so gentle and caring. I love how excited and happy she gets when she puts her mind to a project and has so many creative ideas. She just beams so much. Jin has really grown into such a confident young leader. Jin was first seen in the production of Godspell, who delivered the sower went to sow some seeds parable as the shy child. Ever since then, I loved watching her break out of her shell. I then saw how gorgeous of a dancer she was and used her in so many featured dancing for many, many shows after. She was cast in a chorus line as a beautiful young dancing Maggie and stole the song with her elegant lift during the climax of the song. This wasn't the last time we used her in lifts. There were so many after, such as Razzle Dazzle in Chicago and Holiday Inn in the song Blue Skies. She was so beautiful, and all eyes were on her during these moments. Going on to Fiddler on the Roof, she was the perfect Bielka, Tevia's youngest daughter. Her energy just lit up the stage as the young, carefree, curious girl. She was a perfect light in Tevia's family. Jen also was perfect in our Schuler production of Newsies, playing the part of Elmer. Her acting, singing, and dancing really shone through during this production, and she always worked so well with the other cast members around her. I always saw the cast loving on Jen, and I don't blame them. What's not to love about her? She always had so much positivity to give. I also know her and Caroline were inseparable. Going on to senior year, Jen went on to choreograph and co-direct the Disney Showcase with Caroline, and her leadership skills really shone through. This ended up being an incredible show with lots of creativity. Jen also was on the student board this year, so all the students really looked up to her. Jen is also incredibly organized and was a wonderful front of house manager for a lot of our shows. She made the lobby look so inviting for anyone who attended our shows. Jen is just a beautiful girl inside and out, and I'm so lucky to have had her in my program for the past 4 years.
Settle in, girls, it's story time. There's a princess in a tower. Oh my gosh, that's just like me. Poor Rapunzel needs a haircut, but the witch won't set her free. She passes time by singing like someone else I know. As years go by, she sits and waits as years go by. Uh-oh. A torturous existence. I don't remember this part. She wishes she were dead. Skip ahead, skip ahead. But in the end, Rapunzel finds a billionaire, the princess good at climbing and braiding golden hair. So I know he'll appear, 'cause there are rules and there are strictures. I believe the storybooks I read by candlelight, my white knight and his steed will look just like these pictures. It won't be long now, I guarantee. Day number 23. I know it's today. I know it's today.
All right, children. Today, I will tell you the story from the Bible of Laban and Jacob, and then we will discuss it. All right? Good. Now, Laban had 2 daughters, Leah and the beautiful Rachel. And Jacob loved the younger Rachel. So, Jacob asked Laban for her hand. Laban agreed if Jacob would work for him for 7 years.
Was Laban a mean man?
He was an employer. Now, after working those 7 years, do you know what happened? Laban fooled him and gave him his ugly daughter Leah. So, in order to marry Rachel, Jacob was forced to work another 7 years. Now, children, this shows that the Bible clearly teaches us that you must never trust an employer. Do you understand?
Yes, Frederick. Yes, Frederick.
Good. Now,
Everything is beautiful at the
University of Georgia, pursuing a degree in public relations. Congratulations, Jen! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Katie Lavelle. I have really treasured Katie as part of the acting troupe of Lambert over the past 4 years. We could not have been able to produce the quality of our performances we do without her. I loved her sense of humor, and I would always have a good time and laugh with her and the rest of the crew in the booth. When I first met Katie in her tech class freshman year, I knew she was so smart and eager to learn. She jumped on board with anything we did in class or anything I asked her to do. She learned on the light board, construction, how to tie knots, how to spike stage dimensions, and so much more. Her claim to fame was her work as a sound designer and soundboard operator. She put her skills to use, starting her freshman year as lightboard operator for many shows such as James and the Giant Peach and A Chorus Line. She was LED operator for Grease and Penny for Your Thoughts. Katie was the spotlight operator for Godspell and Midsummer Night's Dream. She started exploring the technical aspects of sound her sophomore year and sound designed her first show with Footloose. She sound designed or worked alongside a professional sound designer for most of the shows following. She was so patient and knew how to solve problems in the moment, even during the times when I would get so stressed out during Tech Week. When ATL purchased new equipment, she was right there, hands-on, eager to learn and implement skills. I could always count on Katie, and the show would always be so wonderful when she was running the show. When sound used to be the biggest headache for me, Katie then swooped in and put my mind at ease. I could always trust her. Katie is also ridiculously smart, which is perfect for someone going to technical theater in college. Katie currently holds the record for the senior who has been a part of the most shows at Lambert High School. This adds up to 23 productions. This shows how dedicated and hardworking this girl is. If you knew Katie, you know she doesn't give out hugs very often, but I will never forget the one and only time she gave me a hug at the Schuler Awards. It meant the world to me. Here's a selection of Katie's sound design for our most recent production of Holiday Inn.
Blue sky, smile at me. What blue skies do I see? Blue days, all of them gone. Nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies, nothing but blue skies.
Katie will be attending the University of North Georgia, pursuing a BFA in Design and Technology for Theater. Congratulations, Katie! Up next, we would like to recognize senior Cooper Mabry. Cooper was always such a joy to work with over the years in ATL. He was so silly and funny and made anyone around him laugh. It was so wonderful watching Cooper grow over the past 4 years, not only in his talent, but in his maturity and physicality as well. It was so adorable watching him and his twin sister Jillian sing a duet together in their first ATL production of Godspell. He had such a pure, natural tenor voice that is not always common. I loved his breakout role as Duty in Grease his freshman year. He really grew as a performer following his freshman year. Cooper was cast in our competition production of A Chorus Line, which demanded a lot of work in dancing, acting, and vocal ability. I knew he really worked hard through some of those intense rehearsals, and he came out with many new skills. Cooper was then given the task to play Mary Sunshine in our production of Chicago. Now in this show, he had to portray a girl, and surprisingly, he was brilliant and had numerous fans screaming at the end of his operatic high soprano performance. He was Model the Tailor in Fiddler on the Roof and Papa Ogre in Shrek. His senior year, he was the hilarious waiter in She Loves Me, Hans the antagonist in Frozen, and Jean Valjean in our choral performance of Les Mis at the National Performing Arts Festival in Disney World. Cooper was recognized twice at the National Performing Arts Festival for both of these roles. I have never been more proud of Cooper than I was for his portrayal of Crutchy in Newsies. His performance was so touching and real, and was even nominated for a Schuler Award for Best Featured Performer. On top of his accomplishments, Cooper is so respectful towards his directors and will always make you smile and have a good time. We are so thankful to have shared many amazing memories with Cooper over the past several years.
I wasn't much help yesterday. Tonight has soaked me real good with my crutch. Oh yeah, Jack, this is Crutchy by the way. These here gods, they's rude. They say jump, but you jump when you're screwed. But the food ain't so badly so far, 'cause so far they brung us no food. Ha ha. The rooftop, sleeping right out in the open in your penthouse in the sky. There's a cool breeze blowing even in July. Anyway, so guess what? There's a secret escape plan I got. Tie a sheet to the bed, toss the end out the window, climb down and take off like a shot. Maybe though, not tonight. I ain't slept and my legs still ain't right. Hey, but Pulitzer, he's going down. And then Jack, I was thinking we might just go, like he was saying, where it's clean and green and free, with no buildings in your way, and you's riding Palominos every day. Once that train makes
Head down!
Damn this place. I'll be fine. Good as new. But there's one thing I need you to do. On the rooftop you said that a family looks out for each other. So tell all the fellas for me to protect one another. And your friend, your best friend, your brother, Crutchy.
You in there, pipe down!
Cooper will be attending Kennesaw State University pursuing a degree in sports management. Congratulations, Cooper! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Jillian Mabry. I fell in love with Jillian when I met her for the very first time. She was always so happy when I saw her, and I admired that about her. I quickly found out that she was an absolute powerhouse of a singer for such a tiny young lady. She sang the perfect duet her freshman year with her twin brother Cooper in Godspell, and it was just precious. I knew then that she had so much talent inside of her. The next year, she was cast as an incredible Maisie LeBird in Seussical. She owned that part and gave it all the sass and attitude and was beautiful shining in her costume. She was then such a wonderful asset in the competition class in Fiddler on the Roof and Newsies. This year, she blew everyone away with her performance of How Far I'll Go in the Disney Showcase earlier this year. It was such a spectacular performance, her coming out for the solo, dressed in all white and singing a gorgeous song from Moana. It was definitely a showstopper in the whole showcase. This year was everything Disney for Jillian. Jillian was then cast as the beloved Olaf in Frozen. She was so adorable as this innocent character with such an outgoing personality and laughable moments. She also competed in the solo duo competition at the National Performing Arts Festival in Disney World. She sang All Falls Down from Chaplin and won Outstanding Soloist at the competition. Words cannot describe how completely proud of her I was. I was almost in tears at the ceremony. On top of her wonderful voice and talent, Jillian had an eye for makeup design. She was on tech for a couple of the productions and would always help others out with their makeup. What she did was always beautiful, and I think she has a great gift for this design. I just want to thank Jillian for all the memories that we shared together in the acting troupe of Lambert. Congratulations.
Bees will buzz, kids will blow dandelion fuzz, and I'll be doing whatever snow does in summer. A drink in my hand, my snow up against the burning sand, probably getting gorgeously tanned in summer. I'll finally see a summer breeze blow away a winter storm, and find out what happens to solid water when it gets warm. And I can't wait to see what my buddies will think of me. Just imagine how much cooler I'll be in summer. I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. Every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, where I long to be. See the line where the sky used to see, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. And it seems like it's all I got to be, so come find me. One day I'll know. If I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is by design. I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can roll with mine. I can lead with pride, I can make us strong, I'll be satisfied if I play along with the voice inside, sing a different song. What is wrong with me? I'm trying to see it's my thing, and no one knows how deep it goes. And it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me and let me go. What's beyond that line? When I cross that line, the line is shining to see. It calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. And it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me and let me go. How far I'll go.
Jillian plans on studying criminology while also continuing practicing her love for music and makeup design after high school. Congratulations, Jillian! I would like to recognize senior Bella Marsigliano. Bella started out at Lambert her freshman and sophomore year, took a gap year outside of Lambert, and came back her senior year. When I first worked with her freshman year, I knew she was going to have great acting skills. She was always so intuitive and really wanted to focus on backstory, characterization, and motivation as part of developing a role in a scene. She became to be a really smart actress, a hard worker, and passionate about her craft. I knew she was going to want to pursue theater after high school early on. She was cast her freshman year in Godspell, and I loved watching her shine and become completely invested in telling the story. It was then that I knew she was mature and had leadership skills as well. Her sophomore year, she was given the opportunity to write and direct her own scene. I was so thrilled she came back to be a part of the acting troupe of Lambert her senior year. This year, I saw her in a whole new light. Always smiling with such positive energy, Bella would never fail to make sure she gave me a hug every single day. I can't even explain how much that always meant to me. One of the biggest things I miss about being away for so long was Bella's hugs. She assistant directed our advanced drama show, Our Place, this year, and had so many creative ideas to put to the table. She was cast as Louise in Holiday Inn and performed exceptionally well. I was so proud of her in this role and in this production. We are so excited to see her continue her acting education in college.
Love blanket. This is my great-grandmother's blanket. You stole my great-grandmother's blanket.
She didn't need it anymore.
You stole my dead great-grandmother's blanket.
Yeah, I just borrowed it from that thing.
Her wake?
Yeah. It was just sitting on the table by her dead body. What do you...
That was a tasteful display of precious things she had made in her life.
Oh, God. I see where I might have gone wrong there. Oh, yeah.
I thought you came to Mimi's wake to support me. But clearly, you were just there to pillage. You are sick.
So, I guess we're not gonna go see the ghost light?
You told him about the ghost light? That was my story. You stole my story and my place.
Our place.
Oh my God.
You are a lying, cheating, blanket stealer.
I thought it was a door prize.
Why didn't you just leap off the building?
Oh, you first.
There's an old superstition way down south. Everybody believes that trouble won't stay if you shake it away. When they hold a revival way down south, everybody with care and trouble that day tries to shake it away. Shaking the blues away, unhappy news away. If you are blue, it's easy to shake off your past and troubles. Telling the who's to go, they may refuse to go. But as a rule, they'll go if you shake them away. I do like the voodoo do, listen to a voodoo melody. They shake their bodies with every shake. A lucky breakthrough is their way to chase your cares away. If you would lose your weary blues, shake 'em away. Shake 'em away.
Bella will be attending Coastal Carolina University, pursuing a BFA in physical theater. Congratulations, Bella! Next, I would like to recognize senior Kelly Neighbor. Kelly has been an absolute joy to work with over the past 4 years. She is so unique in her acting style and has such a bold, amazing personality. She was hilarious in her first production of Godspell. I knew she was going to add a ton of personality and charm into every role and performance she gave. She was then a part of the production of Footloose and added her energetic charm into every scene and dance number she was in. Her sophomore year, she was cast in Seussical and was a wonderful Yertle the Turtle. It was unique once again, and Kelly definitely knew how to make a role her own. Junior year, she was part of the competition class and most notably played the role of Fru Macera in Fiddler on the Roof. There was no one who was more perfect for that role than she was. It was terrifying how good she was with those shrieks. Her dream sequence scene was one of the most memorable scenes in the whole show. She then was a wonderful newsie in the spring. She had what it took to be powerful and headstrong, all while singing, acting, and dancing. I was extremely proud of Kelly throughout this whole process. Not only is Kelly a fun, energetic performer, she is also great behind the scenes. Kelly is extremely knowledgeable in the mic tech crew and helped out with many quick changes backstage. She also helped mic students to prepare them for their mic checks. Kelly then served as the stage manager in Frozen and backstage manager for Holiday Inn. She was a wonderful leader, and I knew I could count on her to accomplish many difficult tasks. The technical execution of those shows were very, very challenging, and she worked so hard to make sure they ran smoothly. I love how positive and respectful Kelly always was as well. Thank you, Kelly, for being a wonderful part of ATL.
Fellas, for the sake of every kid in every sweatshop, factory, and slaughterhouse in the city, I beg of you, throw down your papers and join the strike.
I'm with ya!
Now's the time to seize the day.
Now's the time to seize the day.
Answer the call and don't delay.
Answer the call and don't delay. Call's gonna be riding. If when you're riding, let us seize the day. Fru Macera, Fru Macera, Fru Macera, Fru Macera, Fru Macera. What is this about your daughter marrying my husband? Would you do this to your friend that never from a Have you no consideration for a woman's feelings? Handing over my belongings to a total stranger. How can you let your daughter take my place? Live in my house, carry my keys, and wear my clothes, grills, and such a minute trying to tell you wouldn't let it happen. Tell me it's true that I wouldn't worry. Say you didn't give your blessing to your daughter's marriage. Let me tell you what follows such a fatal wedding. If Saito marries Lisa Wolf, I pity him both. Within 3 weeks, and when 3 weeks are up, I'll come to her by night. I'll take her by the throat, and this will give me sight of that, will give me sight of this, will give me sight of that. That's my wedding present till she marries Lisa Wolf.
Kelly will be attending the University of Georgia and will be double majoring in atmospheric sciences and geology. Congratulations, Kelly! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Nicholas Arrego. Nicholas actually joined ATL playing in our pit for our production of Chicago. I was so happy he was a member of our orchestra that year as we were awarded an honorable mention for Best Orchestra for the 2018 Schuler Awards. Nicholas was always such a caring individual and would always say hi to me every single time I passed him in the hall, and it made my day. I kept wanting him to come back to do more productions. He tried out for our production of Shrek, and I was so delighted to finally have him on stage. He played the role of Papa Ogre. I was exceptionally proud of his audition and his accent for the role. I could tell he had natural ability and understood the character motives. I was definitely looking forward to having him in my theater classes the following year. As a part of my advanced drama class this year, Nicholas was cast in our production of Our Place. In this show, he had to play more than one character. There was a specific character he played where he had to portray someone's father, and the role required him to act physically with no words. I was blown away by how real and emotional his acting was for the part. He then was cast in our production of Frozen this year. He played the role of Hans, and it was such a joy to watch him in this role that requires both acting, singing, and dance abilities. During this show, I particularly loved his voice quality for the role. His chemistry between him and Alora Emery was perfect for Love is an Open Door. Nicholas was always respectful in my classes and in our productions. I remember he would always have a smile on his face and would ask what he could do to improve or what he could do to help. I always remember him having a talent for our improv activities in class as well. He is very quick-witted and always eager to participate in what we were doing. It was such an honor to work with Nick, and I'm so glad that he joined ATL the past couple years.
I think it's crazy.
What?
We finish each other.
Sandwiches!
That's what I was gonna say.
I've never met someone who thinks so much like me. Jinx! Jinx again! Our mental synchronization can't have but one explanation.
You
And I
were
just
meant
meant
to
to
be.
say goodbye.
Say goodbye to the pain of the past. We don't have to feel it anymore. Love's an open door.
Love's an open door. Life is so much more with you.
With you.
With you.
With you. Can I say something crazy? Will you marry me?
Can I say something even crazier? Yes!
Now you're 7,
Now you're 7,
so it's time to go away.
your mama packed a sandwich for your trip.
Your papa packed your boots and came so slow. You're gonna make us proud, no backing up allowed. Just keep walking,
Just keep walking, and
you'll find somewhere to go. It's a big, bright, beautiful world with happiness all around. It's peaches and cream, and every dream comes true, but not for you.
Nicholas will be attending Georgia State University, pursuing a degree in games design and development. Congratulations, Nick! Next, we would like to recognize senior Tori Perez. Tori probably is the most dedicated, grounded person in ATL. She is the most reliable person, and we will be losing such a strong member next year. I have absolutely loved working with this young lady. She was a standout starting her freshman year in Godspell, singing in the Light of the World. She was in many productions after that and also helped out on our James crew with Jared as a peach pusher. Woohoo! Tori was very reliable, and I always knew she would be completely on top of her choreography, direction, and blocking. She was in many shows such as Grease, Footloose, and our competition shows such as Chicago, A Chorus Line, and Fiddler on the Roof. In Newsies, she became even more reliable, singing and holding harmonies as a nun and dancing as a Bowery beauty. That same year, Tori was cast as the White Rabbit in Shrek and was definitely a standout in those fairy tale scenes. I was blown away by her when she showed her leadership skills and directed the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. She showed she had a real eye for direction and creating. It was beautifully put together and one of my favorite shows. Not only was she wonderful on stage performing, she was also one of our best tech members, whether she knew this or not. Being in the ensemble for She Loves Me, she took it upon herself to create a list of all the scene changes, when they happen, who moves them, since this show had many moving parts. I saw that she was doing this, and I quickly turned to her to answer and help figure out some of the traffic patterns to work on our technical execution. She was a godsend when I was working with her on this. There were many shows she was in throughout her years at Lambert, and her last one was Holiday Inn. I was so proud of her during this show as I saw her shine more than ever in the many different costumes and styles of songs. I'm immensely proud of you, Tori, and I am thankful that you will always be part of our ATL family.
I always dreamed of getting better after. And this is it.
attending the University of Georgia, pursuing a degree in special education. Congratulations, Tori! The next person I would like to recognize is senior Cole Pigford. I remember meeting Cole at his 8th grade performance of Legally Blonde. I remember coming up to him after the show, really excited he was going to be a part of the ATL program the following year. Cole was always just one big ball of joy and excitement. He was an extraordinarily caring individual. During his freshman year, I think he really fell in love with being on stage and finding his place in the program with the people around him. He was also involved in the film classes, so he would actually help film and edit some of our ATL videos. I will never ever forget the huge poster letter that Cole gave me at the end of his freshman year. It melted my heart, and I became so extremely appreciative to continue having Cole in my classes and see his passion grow with the love of theater and the people around him. Cole was always so excited about anything I told him to do: blocking, choreography, roles, even props he got to handle. It was also such an honor to watch him grow as a performer. He played many roles with ATL. He was Cowboy Bob in Footloose. He was Jason in Ordinary Days, and his portrayal of that role was so strong and powerful. He blew me away with his portrayal of Race in Newsies. He was all invested in his actions, vocals, comedy, and even had the New York accent down perfectly. He wanted to make sure he was always practicing with his cigar prop during rehearsals. Another example of this was in Fiddler on the Roof. He would not stop practicing until he had that bottle completely balanced on his head. He was the first one to have that bottle dance perfectly and would stop by during lunch just to practice that. I love most of all how excited he got to be in the Tap Shoes Dude in Holiday Inn and say "Snow Machine" in the director's scene. Cole then showed how great of an actor he was this year in She Loves Me. Sipos was a perfect role for him, and he ran with the quirky character and fabulous comedic timing. I am so thrilled Cole is continuing his acting career in college. He will do wonders. I know the students and professors in college are going to be so completely blessed having Cole for the next 4 years as I was the past 4 years.
Jack's sake, can we stow the seriosity long enough to just drink in the moment? I'm famous.
What of it?
Well, are you stupid or what? Fellas, when you're famous, the world is your oyster.
Your what?
Your oyster. Your oyster. Oh, you know your fancy clam with the pilot song.
So how much does being famous pay?
No, you don't need money when you're famous. They give you whatever you want. Gratis.
Such as?
Oh, a pair of huge shoes with patent laces.
A permanent box that you can drink. A stroll me on ride with the sour pickle.
Look at me, I'm in New York.
Suddenly, I'm respectable, staring right at your lousy wrist at ya.
No bingo, lucky mucks. I'm throwing my dough and rolling deluxe.
And there I be, ain't I pretty? It's my city, I'm the king of New York. Call me fool, that's alright with me. Here's my rule, never disagree. Where's my pride? Swallowed long ago, deep inside, where it doesn't show. Just maintain a true perspective, and it's easy to avoid a clash of wills. Just maintain a true perspective, and make sure you're well supplied with stomach pills. Let me put it bluntly, I'm a coward with a wife and children to support. Actually, my creed is short and simple. 5 essential words, George. Do not lose your job.
Cole will be attending the University of Alabama pursuing a BFA in acting. Congratulations, Cole! Next up, I would like to recognize senior Nate Powell. I had the pleasure of working with Nate his senior year. I wish I had more, but I am so glad he joined us. Every time I saw Nate, he was always in a positive mood. He was very respectful and was excited with any direction I gave him. You may have seen Nate in Frozen this year portraying the role of Kristoff. I was very impressed with Nate's natural instincts on stage during rehearsal while he was working off the other characters around him. He was a wonderful Kristoff and a great addition to our ensemble and choreography. He was very well liked by his peers, and every time he did that toe touch in Frozen, they would all scream for him. He then showed his wonderful comedic acting skills in the production of the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. He portrayed the role of Barfay and was hilarious. His physicality and character voice was spot on for that role. He was definitely a crowd favorite for sure. On top of performing, Nate also helped out on the tech crew for our competition show, She Loves Me. With his help, it contributed to the 2019 state championship. Nate was also actively involved in the improv troupe and served as an officer for his club. I will always remember his fun, personality, and humor. Congratulations, Nate.
Oh, come on, Sven. It's not your fault that we got caught in a surprise magical summer blizzard and that nobody will give us a room.
Or a barn, or even a fish hut.
Yeah. What are people's problem with reindeer nowadays?
You got me.
Reindeers are better than people. Sven, don't you think that's true?
Yeah, people defeat you, and curse you and cheat you. Every one of them's bad, except you.
Well, thanks, buddy. But people smell better than reindeers. Sven, don't you think I'm right?
That's once again true for all except you.
You got me. Let's call it a night.
Good night. Don't let the frost bite.
Magic foot, take me to the final round. Magic foot, I barely lifted off the ground. Magic foot, I do it without making a sound. Magic foot, write the letter, a magic foot. Write that perfect letter, a magic foot. It's an alphabet way to spell. Alright, let's see what we got here, foot. H-A-S-E-N, Hasen. A P-F-E-F-F, Puff-F. E-R, let's go! Magic foot. Be specific, magic foot. It's terrific if you're not specific, magic foot. Act terrific when I make a word with my foot, magic foot.
Nate will be attending Kennesaw State University, pursuing a degree in criminal justice. He will also be attending Marine Corps boot camp. Congratulations, Nate! Up next, we would like to recognize senior Cindy Q. It has been such a pleasure working with Cindy as my student over the years. Cindy is exceptionally talented with many years of dance training under her belt. As a freshman, Cindy was cast in the competition show James and the Giant Peach. I was wowed that she was able to keep turning while wrapping the rope around her, looking like the seagulls just got caught, all with a smile on her face. She definitely knows how to tell a story through dance. Cindy, let me just say, was always hilarious. She would always have the funniest comments and funniest memes and was well liked by her peers. As a sophomore, Cindy was elected to be on the ATL student board. With her leadership skills and talent for design, Cindy made the design for our posters for many of our ATL shows. Cindy was most notably seen in a chorus line as Connie Wong. Her portrayal of this role was absolutely perfect and so adorable. Another role she was great for was Sprinza in Fiddler on the Roof, one of Tevia's daughters. Cindy then was the perfect Tommy boy in Newsies, and once again wowing the audience with all of her wonderful turns. Cindy always knew how to find her character and set the mood and tone for the particular number she was in. Your eye would always go to her because she was always invested. You could see this in the productions of Chicago and was flawless in Holiday Inn. She is such a hard worker, and I've always loved her positivity. Cindy is one talented, funny, and smart young lady with her voice skills, acting skills, and dancing skills. It has been an absolute joy having Cindy in the program, and I wish her all the best in her future endeavors.
Good Sabbath, children.
Good Sabbath, Papa.
Children, this is Berchik. Berchik, this is my oldest daughter.
Good Sabbath.
Good Sabbath.
You have a pleasant daughter.
Well, I have 5 pleasant daughters. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, and this is not mine.
4'10", 4'10", that's a story of my life. I remember when everybody was my size. Boy, was that great, but then everybody started moving up and there I was stuck at 4'10", 4'10", but I kept hoping and praying. I used to hang from a parallel bar by the hour, hoping I'd stretch just an inch more. Cause I was into dancing then, and I was good, and I wanted so much to grow up to be a prima ballerina. Then I went out for cheerleader, and they told me, no dice. You'll get lost in the football field. The pom-poms are bigger than you. I said,
Watch this one. Here we go.
Cindy will be attending Georgia Tech, pursuing a Bachelor of Science and Business Administration. Congratulations, Cindy. Up next, I would like to recognize senior Madison Rayburn. Madison has been a true joy to work with over the past 4 years, beginning in Godspell. She was such a wonderful member, creating and telling the story with her wonderful personality. I then remember her energy and vocals in our production of Seussical. She was very dynamic and always had such a clear, clean tone to her voice. She was also such a wonderful dancer in this show as a bird girl. I could see so much potential as a leader from this. The next year, she did just that. She was definitely a mentor to her peers, and as she portrayed the role of Ariel in The Little Mermaid. Her portrayal was so beautiful, and her voice sounded just like a Disney princess. I also was very proud of her acting skills, for it was really emotional, real, and honest. She made wonderful discoveries in her performance. When we did this show for the elementary school, all the kids just loved her. That spring, she played the role of Teen Fiona in Shrek and was also perfect. Once again, her tone was so clear and precise, and I loved her sassy teen portrayal of Fiona. Senior year, I got to see a little different side of Madison heading up our costumes for She Loves Me. She had a great passion for this, and the costumes turned out to be beautiful with the help to Miss Vicky Daly. Madison portrayed a gorgeous emotional Eponine in our Les Mis choral selection performance we took to Disney World, singing On My Own. Our production of Holiday Inn, Madison played Susie and was a wonderful asset to our production. I'd love to thank Madison for everything she's contributed to the program, and I am so honored to have worked with her.
On my own, pretending he's beside me. All alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me. And when I lose my way, I close my eyes, and he has found me. Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around in those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Nature and land, they understand, but they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand. Ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire? Why is it? What's the word? Burn. When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore of the moon? Out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that
Madison will be attending Kennesaw State University, pursuing a degree in public relations. Congratulations, Madison! I would like to recognize senior Morgan Sauer. First off, I would like to say that Morgan needs to be a Disney princess one day. She pretty much already is. She is always positive, energetic, and smiling, and everything is always just so. Morgan has been phenomenal to work with, and I cannot compliment her enough. She was constantly the person my eye would always be drawn to in big production numbers because she constantly gave 100%, not just in the performances, but in the rehearsals as well. Her freshman year started out in Godspell, and that passion and enthusiasm just began to grow from there. I was extremely proud of her when she was in Seussical and played a bird girl. During that whole rehearsal process, Morgan served as an incredible dance captain. She was such a mentor to the students around her and was always patient and accommodating. She came up with her own Zumba routine that year, which will forever be a favorite that will continually be used for the years to come as a warm-up. She showed the other students what it takes to be a part of a production and to have that charm that makes you shine in your light. She definitely knew how to act through the song and I would constantly call her out as being the most invested one on stage. This was all true for our production of Newsies, Fiddler, and Holiday Inn. All these performances from Morgan, she just owned the stage. She was a wonderful fairy godmother in Shrek as well. This year, Morgan co-directed the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, and the show was so phenomenal. She was such a great, encouraging director throughout the process. Morgan was also a tremendous ATL officer this year. I know Morgan is going to do wonders after high school with her major. She has been an absolute blessing in the ATL family. We love you, Morgan.
Yes, I made the choice. For Papa, I will stay. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way. You monster. If you think that's what you've done is right, well then you're a fool. Think again. Is this home? Is this where I should learn to be happy? Never dreamed that a home could be dark and cold. I was told every day in my childhood, even when we grow old, home should be where the heart is. Never were words so true. My heart's far, far away. Home is too. Let your free flag wave. Let your free flag fly. Never take it down, never take it down. Raise it way up high. I need to dance with. Easy to dance with.
I'm sorry, girls, you're all marvelous, but the one I'm looking for must have taken the early train. I gotta find her.
Oh, it's so easy to dance with you. You're a peach.
It's so easy to dance.
Easy to dance with you.
Morgan will be attending the University of Alabama, pursuing a degree in elementary education. Congratulations, Morgan! Up next, I would like to recognize senior Jenna Wagner. Jenna has been an absolutely incredible student to work with over the past 4 years and has the attitude that was perfect in cultivating the environment during shows and rehearsals. That is literally the best thing I could say about someone, is how absolutely amazing they are to work with. Jenna is so positive, even in the most stressful times. She knows how to be a leader, take feedback, and is able to adapt while staying calm and collected. I wanted to start out by saying all this because it is the number one thing I think of when I think of Jenna. Jenna started out her freshman year in Godspell and told one of the main parables. Through this, I saw that she had developed great articulation on stage. She was very expressive in her storytelling. Jenna was also such a beautiful dancer. She was one of the featured dancers in a chorus line, and she really knows how to tell a story through dance. She was such a wonderful dancer and had great technique and always helped others around her with their dance skills. She was always one of our spotlight dancers in our competition shows because she knew how to completely tell the story. She perfected every move given to her. This was seen in the production of Chicago, A Chorus Line, and many, many others. By the end of her sophomore year, Jenna played the role of Lulu in Footloose. The following year, she competed in our one-act musical, Fiddler on the Roof. She then completely blew me away in The Marvelous Wonderettes as Susie and was a standout. Her vocals really started to shine during this role, and I couldn't have been more proud of her. Then came Newsies. This is when I really started to see how much of a leader Jenna was among her peers. Jenna worked alongside me and 2 others, assistant choreographing this beast of a dance show. She was so creative and most importantly loved choreographing across the floor routines, which there were a lot of in Newsies. This then won the Schuler Award for Best Choreography for the Schuler Awards 2019. Not to mention, she was also one of the ones dancing as a newsie the whole time. I absolutely loved working with Jenna, Caroline, and Maddie during lunch and after school to create together. All of our ideas came together in one spectacular show, which I am so proud of. She then became a co-choreographer for our competition show She Loves Me, choreographing Romantic Atmosphere with Caroline. This tango feel showed she can do many different styles of choreography. Then came Holiday Inn. Wow, I am so proud of Jenna in many different capacities. Not only did she also co-choreograph that beast of a dance show, but she also held the biggest role she has had in her years in high school. I was so proud of her portrayal of Lila in Holiday Inn. She quickly became a true triple threat. I am so grateful to have had Jenna in the program. She has accomplished so much and she should be so proud.
What have I forgotten? I have forgotten. Something that is haunting, something that my heart doesn't understand. Why does it turn to me? Say that the temperature's rising, isn't surprising. She certainly can. Kiss me, when you do, I'll know that you will miss me. If we ever say adieu, so kiss me, make me tell you I'm in love with you. Kiss me when you do. You will miss me, if we ever say adieu, so kiss me, make me tell you I'm in love with you. No, never let me go. No, never let me go. Never let me go.
Jenna will be attending Kennesaw State University pursuing a degree in music education. Congratulations, Jenna! Thank you all for joining our senior class showcase for our class of 2020. Now we will celebrate them together as we give it up for our seniors as they take their final vow.
All my life been hustling and tonight is my appraisal. Cause I'm a hooker selling songs and my pimp's a rag good label. This world is full of demon stocks and bonds and Bible traders. So I do the deed, get up and leave, a climber and a sadist, yeah. Are you ready for the sequel? Ain't ready for the latest? In the garden of evil, I'm gonna be the greatest. In a golden cathedral, I'll be praying for the faithless. And if you lose, boo-hoo. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Hey, look, ma, I made it. Everything's coming up pieces, pieces. If it's a dream, don't wake me, don't wake me. I said, hey, look, ma, I made it. Friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies. Then they celebrate my medals, or they wanna take my trophies. Some are loyal soldiers, while these other thorns are rosy. And if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. Oh, are you ready for the sequel?